once again, you are tuning in to Power Up with Pride 2022 live on Twitch. We are running the event from June 10th to June 12th, 24 hours each day, benefiting the Trevor Project. To find out more about them, you can find the link to their site in the panels below the stream or use !charity. If you're interested in donating, you can type !donate in chat and find the schedule through !schedule. Up next, we'll be having Shovel Knight Showdown with TempestMax. I think we're good to go. Let's take it away.
Alright, well hello everybody, my name is TempestMask1000 and I have once again returned. Some of you might have caught my race with Kiwami yesterday on Mighty number 9, but this time around it's going to be just me, and we got a bit of a double bill going on, so let's try to get to it as soon as possible. But also, I'd like to remind you all before we begin that, oh wait, this is the wrong Shovel Knight. Give me a second. There's the right Shovel Knight right there. So this here is Shovel Knight Showdown, and this is going to be a story mode run, and how it's going to work is I'm going to play the game on one of the 3 difficulties. This time I'm going to do medium. We're going to see how it all plays out, but I would like to remind you all that we do have an incentive that is currently yet to be met, where if we manage to get it by the end of the run, I will do a bonus fight against the Battletoads using Shovel of Hope, at least assuming that my file is still good to go. If not, then I'll just use challenge mode, but essentially I am playing on the Xbox One version, and that is a special crossover fight that you can see through that and the PC version. So if you want to see that, then definitely consider contributing to the incentive. We're doing it for the Trevor Project too, so you can't go wrong with that whatsoever. But Jax, it's good to have you here as my host. Are you ready for some chivalry?
I am absolutely ready. Good luck.
Thank you. All right, so here's how we're going to do it. Normally, I like to put a bid war for characters to play as, but since we figured the goal itself would be good enough, I'm actually going to do something a little bit special. I'm going to play as Shovel Knight, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. This little skin right here is actually Body Swap Shovel Knight, which, in case you don't know, Body Swap is a feature that you can do. It's very optional and purely cosmetic, but it allows you to change gender swap any of the characters throughout the entire game. You can also even have it set to different pronouns, and the fact that they threw in female Shovel Knight is so cool that I've actually always kind of wanted to use it for a run. So because I figured I'd have a bit more freedom to choose which of the characters to play as this time around, that's who we're going with. So we'll do that, and then time will also begin once I have started the run by selecting the difficulties. So wish me luck, because this ought to be interesting. And Jax, feel free to say anything you'd like. Since this is a Smash Brothers like run of sorts, I more than welcome the friendly commentary.
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
All right, would you like to do the countdown then?
All right, your run begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, welcome aboard everyone to Shovel Knight Showdown. So because it's a Smash Brothers like game, how it works is we're going through what's essentially inspired by classic mode. So I have a few stages to go through, at least 9 or 10's worth. And so how it all plays out is this game is half RNG and then half static. For instance, the static elements will include this first fight. We're always going to fight a predetermined individual based on your character in the Morningstar Arena for the Treasure Clash rule set. There are a couple of different main rule sets within Showdown fights, particularly Treasure Clash, and then Showdown, which the eponymous Showdown rule set is a stock battle, whereas Treasure Clash, the main objective is to either survive or collect the max amount of gems as possible. Now, because I want to go through these stages as fast as I possibly can, going to collect those gems optimally will definitely be the way to do it. Now here's the deal. There are a few optimizations that I can keep in mind here. For instance, Treasure Clashes usually have it where by being at match point, the gem that then spawns that could be the game winner will have a slower spawn time. So by allowing my opponent to get it in medium, where they start off with no gems, then I can make that go a little faster for me. Now, technically, I could do it, but it's going to be a bit tough because Tinker Knight here collected a couple of other gems, but if I just hit him one more time, get the darn thing, and then, yeah, there we go. That's what you like to see. Now, Of course, there is an active time limit, and if that runs out, then the person with the most gems will be the winner. If there is any case for sudden death, then those can happen. But sometimes I want to also keep into account whether or not I want to win the match when time is about to run out. Because sometimes what can happen is you potentially have the victory theme happening when you're like, what, maybe 5 seconds from time expiring, and when time expires, that screen is much faster because it doesn't really play music. So playing the music would just be a bit slower, ironically speaking. Yeah, the general gist of the game is try to complete the objectives as fast as you can. One of the nice things about this as a run is it's totally customizable and you don't need everything unlocked. You can just do it with an incomplete character roster. I, for marathon purposes, like to show it off with the full roster, though, because it allows for proper bid wars and you get to just see all sorts of nice stuff. But it also allows for max chaos as well, and I know some people enjoy seeing that in my runs. So I'm looking out for all sorts of folks checking out for Chivalry here. So let's see what we can do, because of course it wouldn't be a medium run without a bit of difficulty in the CPUs. And the fact that I got hit with Black Knight and King Knight is a bit troublesome, because I never realized just how devious this combination is. I did mention that this game is half RNG, half static, so my opponents this time weren't predetermined, as far as I could tell anyway. Unless I somehow am remembering that wrong. There are some details that can slip my mind, quite honestly. But because there is no time limit, I obviously am wasting a lot, as there is just time loss up the wazoo, because I, of course, need to win this by knocking them out. I'm also in a bit of a danger zone, though, because with one stock left, if I do die again, then that's going to count as a defeat. So I am getting that little turkey to full heal was the right choice. I feel it was the right choice. But yeah, so what do you think so far, Jax?
I'm just curious. So, as a Smash Bros. It's just singular hits, and you have a sort of HP bar instead of like a sort of percentage meter like you do in a typical Smash game.
Yeah. Oh, dang it. Oh, well, that was a bit unexpected there. But yes. So it's basically the health gauge as Shovel Knight usually portrays it, but also you do have a parry. So that's like your only defensive maneuver, basically.
Okay.
So you don't have a shield, therefore it's not. So like I just parried right there. It's useful, but it's not capable of dealing damage. It's only really I feel it's only mostly necessary when when I'm expecting my foe to attack, or when I need to push foes back, because if it doesn't do damage, it does do simple knockback. So if the stage has hazards like pits or instant death traps like lava, then that's where that could come in handy. I gotta give a shout out to Yacht Club Games, because this was like one of the last additions made to the main Shovel Knight package, and I know that since then they've been working on their newest project, Mina the Hollower, which I backed and I'm very much looking forward to. But yeah, no, it's definitely I'm very curious, because yeah, we'll just have to see how a game like that one goes. I mean, I did. Yeah, no, the fact that they picked Game Boy inspired is kind of neat. And wouldn't you know it, my next run is supposed to be a Castlevania Game Boy game, so I guess it kind of goes hand in hand. But let's see if I can get this last stock down before Black Knight has any ideas. There we go. That's a little bit better. It's not unlike a Shovel Knight Showdown run to have something going wrong in some capacity, so if anything happens, let's not worry about it much. But I will say this. The life counter right there is definitely not something you're typically seeing in Shovel Knight. It's a bit more unique to Showdown, because obviously with a classic-inspired mode, they wanted to throw in a little extra challenge, and that's totally understandable, but if you are familiar with how the games normally play, you get unlimited lives. So I gotta watch out how many times I'm gonna lose. Essentially, I would say I'm definitely gonna have, on the like offset chance that the floodgates of chaos open and it forces me to get a game over, which yes, that's very much possible in Showdown. That will have me retire the run, but that has never happened once in a marathon, and I do not intend on having it happen anytime soon. So, that said, perseverance can go a long way, but of course, it's not unlike runners who have played this game to consider resetting whenever something goes not so well. But the accessibility of Showdown and, again, that highly customizable factor about it just makes it one of my favorite speed games to do, personally speaking. So, it's also worth noting that Shovel Knight Showdown is available through other platforms where like, aside for the handheld versions, which was 3DS and PS Vita, you can play this on any of the console versions, and I'm pretty sure, PC version too, but I'm pretty sure that even the Amazon Fire Stick TV port of this game might have it too. And yes, that does exist.
Yeah, there's a Fire Stick port? What?
Yeah, it is one of the weirdest things I have seen on the market of the Prime TV, but it is also one of the most amazing things I've seen. And I have thus sworn to one day get that for myself, if not just to at least be the first official speedrunner for it. The thing is, we do not have it on the leaderboard as a viable platform yet, mostly because I'm pretty sure nobody's just bothered to try. So we'll see what happens, but wow, that was a lot of mirrors right there. I want to mention that whereas older games have had these heavy effects, this one does too, but one of the accessibility options allows me to turn that off. So any screen flashes that you would normally be seeing by now are minimalized. Unfortunately, I could not do anything about the last stage, the dream stage with Shield Knight, which I should probably go into detail about that. It's another static element. Each of the characters have 2 dedicated stages to their story. Each character has a little plot line involved with a little agenda as to why they might be caught up in these shenanigans. And so for Shovel Knight, it's essentially a prequel to his or her own campaign that also sort of takes place concurrently with Spectre of Torment. I did skip those intro cutscenes, but anytime you start up classic mode at all, or story mode, it always says that the inhabitants of the Tower of Fate are concerned for their friend Spectre Knight, who is about to confront the Enchantress. So they decide to seal her in the Mirror of Fate, which he had used previously to transport to the levels, as a way to trap her. And so now the plot goes wrong, and everybody has been teleported into this mirror world dimension where these fights are taking place and stuff. It's honestly a very competent plot, and I just love the idea that each character has a different little story threading into their playthrough, so to speak. And I have been through all of them. I can say that without a doubt. Oop. Well, that just happened. So we are in Percy's targets. This minigame is not your standard break the targets, though. You gotta break these hay bales and get a certain amount of points in order to proceed within the stage. This is mandatory. This is not your typical bonus level. You have to go through it. Otherwise, a loss here will count as defeat that takes away from one of your continues. And the amount of points that you need to get will change varying on that difficulty. So because I'm playing on medium, you're going to see a few of the different types of targets, like how there are the bombs. I'm supposed to avoid hitting those, but if they go off screen, then they convert into points. But if it's a chain of bombs, that's one thing. If it's connected to some hay bales, I want to destroy the hay bales, and then that'll automatically convert to points. At some point, we should be seeing the goo targets, which are my least favorite. By hitting those with a melee attack, you get knocked back, egregiously so, and then any projectiles that hit it will cancel out. But by destroying an entire chain of hay bales, it will give you extra time. Of course, oh, I forgot about my ranged attack. Thank goodness I thought to use it there. Yeah, generally the whole... Yeah, I should mention, again, some details tend to slip my mind when I run this game, and sometimes you can... The movesets are very simple and do relate to what the characters actually do in-game, but sometimes there might be a move or two, like for instance, I forgot about the fire rod, and but it certainly helped here. Anyway, that's Percy's targets. And now we are moving on to the second half of the stages. So the story-specific stage takes place within stage 3 and then the last level. And the last level will be divided into a few different phases. So it'll be the returning guest fight, if you want to call it that. And then we go to the Mirror of Fate, which will be the final boss, and is very much like the original boss to this campaign. Although, maybe it has appeared in Spectre of Torment. I will admit, I not too long ago started playing that for myself, finally. So, yeah, I played Showdown more than I played the actual game. I'm just gonna be real with you all there. It's too fun though. I can't help myself. It is worth mentioning that some attacks have reflective properties. So like in the main game, Shovel Knight's shovel can push back other projectiles, like how I did with the Enchantress's fireball. But yeah. Oh, this could be bad. Oh, come on. All right, I'm gonna play the long-range game, because Polar Knight does not deserve this win. There we go. I'm surprised the first fireball didn't hit. So, in case you're wondering what he did there, that's a taunt. If you hold up or down and like continue to hold it when you're on the ground, your character will have one of two poses. It's kind of like when you get the Toad armor if you do the Battletoads thing, or like if like how in Plague of Shadows, Plague Knight learns to dance from the Troupple King, so then holding down will actually have him do a solo dance. It's basically it's basically the same concept put into little taunt poses, if you will. I do gotta say that... Oh, you first, actually.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if this was a good opportunity to share some donation messages.
Oh, absolutely, yes. I totally forgot about thinking about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so first of all, we have a $100 donation from I Like Cake with no comment, but thank you so much, and I agree with your name.
Yes.
And then on top of that, we have $100 from Botulism Sauce that says, Happy Pride! This is my favorite event of the year. Thank you to everyone who is working so hard to make this happen. Must unlock Hollow Knight.
Oh yeah, look, if y'all have an incentive that's definitely better than mine, it's gotta be Hollow Knight. We definitely want to unlock that, and I've been meaning to play that game for a while. Look, it says something when you know that the runner's own, or admits that their own incentive is paltry compared to such a fantastic game. And I do believe they just announced, what, Silk Song, was it?
Yeah.
Yes, finally. Finally. So yeah, let's definitely celebrate with some Hollow Knight. It well deserves it. I should mention that there's been some good stuff going for Xbox as of late, like the Xbox and oh, was that my last stock? Well, game didn't like talking about itself. Oh well. Let's try that again. Yeah, no, Xbox has been popping off though. Like, I just learned that they are porting some of the Persona games to PC and Xbox, and I'm very excited about that. It's funny though, because, well, for those that don't know, I actually own a PSP 3000 now, and I was considering getting the games that were exclusive to that. They announced Persona 3 Portable though, and I'm just like, huh, well, I guess I don't have to. But then again, there's Persona 2, so, and the Persona 1 remake. So, wait, did I just, oh wow, I just died for no reason there. But yeah, no, I'm so excited for all that. And yeah. That said, I am definitely losing lives like livestock. What the heck? Oh, wow. Treasure Knight, you bully. Well, that's no fair. I'll tell you what, I did not expect to lose another continue that way. I'm gonna give myself some serious time, but let's open the floor to any questions if anybody's got any. Jax, would you be on the lookout for that?
Yeah, sure. I'm not seeing any questions at the moment, but I do have another donation I could read.
Oh, yes, go for it, go for it.
This one's really sweet. This is a $10 donation from Jen the Bug, which reads, "This donation is in honor of my identical twin brother, an awesome trans man doing his part to help other LGBTQ plus folks as a physician. When we were kids, we used to play Super Mario World all the time, so please add Super Mario World to the marathon. Thank you so much." Well, thank you, Jen, for the donation, as well as the extremely kind comment as well.
Yeah, that is very sweet. Now I definitely want to see that too as well. Yeah, no, absolutely. You know what? The Toads are totally fine with taking a take 5 on this one. It's all for the games and all for the runners. Yeah. No, I'm just fully set on just like really wanting you all to donate to those other game incentives for sure now. Very much so. Okay, so I think I've got a much better chance here. So Treasure Knight is admittedly the one opponent in this Treasure Clash that has unlimited lives, which, yeah, that's definitely a thing. So I can't focus on defeating him, but by clearing out some of the room, this does give me a chance. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to try and... never mind. So this is kind of okay. So I do technically have 2 continues to go. The problem is because Treasure Knight is such a long-range character and will push me into the lava no matter what, iframes can't help me with the lava. And well, I'm about to fall. Oh, that was timing right there. Thank you, game. Actually got saved. Yeah, the thing about this Lost City map is that you notice the lava turning from bounceable goo and then back, which, yeah, definitely not the most fun thing to have. But the fact that Treasure Knight can push me in is even more dastardly. So the idea, though, that I can clear out the room with the CPUs that have limited lives does help a little, but it's not all that fun otherwise. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to be fully committing to a strategy involving not having to worry about getting match point, and instead I'm just going to let this one play out. I am a bit curious as to how my time's looking, though.
You're sitting at just under 19 minutes, so you still got some time.
Well, definitely going to be a bit overestimate on that in that case, which, you know what, not unexpected, but hey, I think I'm finally breaking through here. Yeah, very sorry about that, you all. Hope it's understandable, though, because, I mean, we are almost done. I just gotta get this last gem. Now I'm committed.
This just looks so brutal, so I wouldn't feel...
Yeah, no, that's why I usually try to submit either medium or easy to give the choice of max chaos or chaos to a degree, but yeah, there's a reason why I do not typically submit hard mode. I should explain some of the differences, actually, because the amount of continues I start with is dependent on what difficulty I'm playing as, where easy mode gives me, like, 9. In the meantime, something like this only gives me 6. Like I said, if you run out of continues, then the next defeat you get will be the game over. Oh, that's not good. That's a Justice card. I wanted to avoid that because that's actually an instant kill item. But here's the fun part, because we're on the one of the auto-scroller stages, and the CPUs do not know how to act with those at all. So you're going to see a lot of dying here. Okay, so I did have to take a bit of a death there. But this mode does give me a lot of stocks, and now the room has been cleared of Polar Knight. No, wait, that was Treasure Knight? I thought that was Polar Knight. I was looking. What's going on here?
Yeah,
man, I can't.
I saw the snow shovel. I thought that was.
That must be a graphical glitch going on here. That's never happened before, and yes, I'm willing to say that right now.
Alright, that was a good stage, though.
Yes, definitely so. Okay, so we're back to the story, and so the whole point of Shovel Knight's campaign in Showdown is that he or she sees Shield Knight And this is around the time when Shield Knight's been gone for so long that at first it's considered like an apparition or something, but now Shovel Knight realizes that Shield Knight is indeed the real deal, but they have to work their way out of here, so they have to fight in order to proceed to the Mirror of Fate's chamber. And so this is another one of those very static things, but I'm going to try and do something a little bit neat at the end, because there is only one little manipulation that makes the game go faster, and it's an auto transition that happens after the victory theme plays out once you've gotten to the fight, because then there's an animation involved with going to the next room. So if I'm standing as close to the right as possible without crossing the boundary that would then wrap me to the left, then I can make that either go then I can make that go super fast. But I found another way to make that go fast, and it's kind of swaggy. Shovel Knight does not have a lot of movement-based attacks, only the charge swing, admittedly. Shield Knight's not playing nice, though, so let me go ahead and long-range this. Granted that long-range attacks on Shield Knight is not necessarily the general stuff, and it looks like she is taunting. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to charge up. Okay, I did not make it work. Unfortunate, but I was close enough to the right. So what I wanted to do was, if I managed to use a movement-based attack and release it as the game is about to give control to the automatic transition, then the move will still activate, but the character will still leave the screen that the game will consider it moved on to the next. And the first time I did that was with Baz's rope swing. It was the coolest thing ever, and it just blew my commentators' minds, because they did not know I had just found that. But here's the Mirror of Fate, and this is where things get interesting, because it's a treasure clash, but the mirror has a few different ways on how to collect those suckers. First, there's that little energy tongue right there that you just saw a few times. And now it's at 4, so it is a bit ahead, but we also got these shadow fighters, these dark fighters that it will spawn. Each go down in 2 hits, though. This is not looking good for me. I didn't think Mole Knight... The game is making fun of me, by the way. Whenever you see the character doing those rapid ducks, it's almost as if it's trying to taunt me, and yet it's also trying to... It's just the equivalent to its own taunt, clearly. Like, I don't know, man. This mirror does not... This mirror wants to cause chaos. Like I said, this game can be chaotic. But yes, it collects the gems with the fighters, the tongue, but it can also do so with those fireballs, because when it does that, what happens is it automatically converts it into a super bomb. And I think it's going to win. Okay, so this is interesting. I got one more continue to go off of. We're going to try again, and if I fail, that's the run. But at least we got to the final stage. I do admit it was a little bit unexpected that I had these issues plaguing me this run, so I do apologize for that. Definitely not the best of runs, but I hope you all are enjoying it all the same. And if we need to cut back on time, I'm more than willing to sack the next run for that. But let's try that again. So the nice thing about the treasure clash is that you're usually having 2 gems spawn at a time. So I try to make use of that. And normally it's not too bad if it gets to the point where I have an even amount of gems collected, or sorry, odd number of gems collected in my pocket, because then the next gem I collect at match point means I only need to do it like once. But I'm just gonna go for it at all costs. Okay, well, it did get 1, and it did the bomb method, so let's try it. Let's see what goes. Okay, energy tongue. Okay, no, I'm back on even. Okay, so it did get to it first. But the next gem will put us to phase 2, and then it'll be a traditional boss fight. Just like so. Okay, so now how this is going to work is I need to continuously hit the weak point of the mirror's eye in order to then bust it open, and then by that point, the final hit will be time. So let's go ahead. The funny thing is that you can technically hit it if you're able to reach it before the countdown finishes it, just like I did there, actually. So yeah. I gotta say, Jaxler, do you think this thing would fit well within the world of Pumpkin Jack? Because I honestly think so.
Yeah, probably would. I was like an NPC, like, because like Pumpkin Jack, they're all the bad guys are your friends. This would probably be like a NPC.
Yeah.
Maybe a boss.
Yeah. That would be fun. Oh man, Yacht Club, please make it happen. But anyway, seriously, this thing likes to play, does still like to play dirty. It likes to do the rapid stream fireballs. It also has the energy tongue that tries to trap you, and if you get caught in it, then that's instant kill. Thankfully, I got out of it just in the nick of time. Usually, I'm so far away that that doesn't become an issue. But yeah, no, this is definitely... Height variance can be a pain. I don't really know the specifics of how this boss moves, per se. I don't think know if someone put in a little research into that. The good news is that if you are trying to do a speedrun and you're on pace but you lose to phase 2, then you can go back. Like the game sends you back already, but it puts you into phase 2 already, so you don't have to do phase 1 again. This is going to be tough, though. I got one last stock. If I die here, that's it. Yeah, hang on a second.
Yeah, that looks super brutal. Oh, absolutely. And we got another run from you coming up right after this, so.
It's like there might be a bit of an issue and the things. So we'll get back to you all soon on that one.